What is going on, everybody? Um, this is a very improvised live stream. I was not planning on doing this, but I was messing around inside of Procreate. That's how bored I've been. And I decided to do something. So follow along if you want to follow along. If you have any questions about anything else, please feel free to ask me. Grab some coffee and watch me draw some stuff, man. Like, that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. So I'm gonna jump right in because I don't want to take too long either. If you guys hear my kids going crazy, it was not coordinated correctly. So my wife is busy doing some stuff and they're running around the living room. So yeah, let's jump right in. If you don't know what Procreate is, it's a really cool app. Right there, you can pretty much draw any kind of stuff. If you went to youth convention, if any of you guys know what youth convention is, I actually designed a lot of the youth convention artwork inside of Procreate. So, you know, I wanted to kind of challenge myself a little bit on that design. And I know usually, you know, we do Photoshop graphics and all that stuff, and I decided to do this all on my iPad that time. After that, I did go in there and like add like a bunch of other stuff like text and all those other layers. I did do that outside of Procreate, but everything was pretty much designed on there. And you need an iPad and you need a pencil, but this is really good for when I'm creating sometimes like a lot of these sermon series, or a lot of like if I want to create a sermon title, see something like that. So yeah, let's jump right into this thing. Let's jump. You know, you can really easily mess up these pencils if you're not careful, but all you gotta do is like replace the tip, so it's not the end of the world. So let's jump right in. I'm gonna bring in an image. Actually, let me create a whole another document. I don't want to mess up what I was working on. So I want to flip this way because the image I'm going to be working with, the image I'm going to be working with is a little bit different. I'll bring this one in. So first, I like to zoom out so I know what I'm doing. Uniform. Maybe right there. Something like that. Check it out. Make sure it's good. If you have an iPad, download Procreate like ASAP because it's really good. Now I've created some text layers that I did create these inside of Photoshop, but then I'll bring them in here and then I'll add all kinds of effects and stuff. So I really like it because I can do a lot. So I'm gonna do something like that. Now what I like to do is I like to duplicate the layers just in case you mess up, but you can't be afraid of it, you know what I mean? You really can't. You gotta just go in for it, and you're gonna mess up a bunch of times. Like I've got graphics on here that are like just horrible. I got a little baby Yoda in there, but I got some graphics in here that I don't even know what in the world I was thinking. But yeah, slide to the right and you can duplicate this. This is not gonna be a tutorial, but you can just follow along. So I'm gonna grab that. I'm gonna show you guys a little trick of what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna erase that, bring down the opacity. So then now what I'm gonna start doing is I'm gonna start going in here and erasing some of these things. Because then I'll start giving a little bit of like a shadow effect at some point. Feel free to share this stream if you want. I know it's not the most like exciting thing in the world, but there's graphic designers out there that are gonna really enjoy this. I know it. Every now and then you want to back up to make sure you know you're still doing it correctly. You're still trying to doing what you're supposed to do here. 2 fingers if you want to back up out of it, like edit undo. Change the size of my I just go in there and I start. I'll tell you what, this is extremely relaxing if you ever want to just sit there and draw for a little bit. I just want to get your mind working, that way you're not too bored at home. Something to do. Here we go. There we go. You know, I do back up constantly. I want to make sure, you know, this is not going to be perfect, but you want to make sure you get. Make sure that's a little bit. See, that might look a little bit. So I did 2 fingers to undo it. See that? Backs you out. That might be a little better. There we go. Go in here. Now obviously when you reduce down the opacity, it lets you see through the text, so that way you can kind of do this a lot easier instead of trying to guess where the line ends, where it begins, and all that good stuff. Okay. So it's kind of starting to take shape there. You can already see it a little bit. But here we go. Now with this, I'm gonna kind of mess with it a little bit. I want to make some layers be kind of intertwined between the kid's arm and stuff like that. So, let's see how can we do this. And again, you know, we mess up a lot, so that's okay. So I'm gonna pretend that this is going behind his arm, and then I'm gonna erase all this. See right there, I don't know where the line ends, so we'll go back in and mess with the opacity here in a little bit. And if you can get your hands on an iPad Pro, there's a new iPad Pro that's out. It was just released. I don't think there's that much of a difference on it, but I definitely recommend it. These iPad Pros are insane. So I still can't see what's going on there, so I'm gonna take this down even more. Go back to my eraser and just try to like guess at it, I guess. You know, that's the best thing I can do. That's pretty good. See, now it seems like it's kind of like intertwined between the kid's arm. That's kind of what we want. So, alright, so I'm gonna leave that text there. And then I'm gonna hide everything else behind his legs. So I have to switch to a brush. Switch my brush size a little bit so we're not here forever. I was thinking about doing this earlier, but I got busy. We, you know, still gotta clean up around here, you know. Leo! I'm gonna throw Leo's comment on here. Yo, good to see you, brother. We miss you, bro. We miss you. We'll be back in East Texas at some point. My buddy Diego promised me some fajitas, you know what I mean? Last time I went to East Texas, they had the spiciest hot sauce. Leo's mom is Diego's mother-in-law, and let me tell you something, that hermana can cook. I just remember that. I will never forget that salsa was spicy. Another level. I will go to SA one day, maybe. I'm not a big fan of San Antonio. I don't know why. I might have just lost some subscribers there, but I don't know. I like Dallas. I'm a Dallas person. So we're doing that, but enthusiasm obviously is gonna be behind, but we're gonna leave this width in front of him, and we're just hiding enthusiasm behind the pant leg here. I gotta remember to keep an eye on my battery life because it's not gonna last forever, so I gotta kind of hurry up here. Sometimes bringing in the opacity too much can hurt you too. What's up, Luis? Or as we like to call him, Billy the Man. Bro, this quarantine is getting to me, bro. I don't even know what to do anymore. I've mowed the lawn like 1,000 times already. Hey Cynthia, good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. Are you guys in Dallas or are you guys somewhere else? I know you guys were up in, I believe it was Washington. Alright, so then I'm gonna do this leg inside, this leg outside. See what that looks like right there. I'll just bring the opacity back up. Oh, I'm missing that little chunk right there. Luis says, I've been converting more than 35 VHS videos to MP4s. Bro, how do you do that? How do you... I know, man. I know. We gotta get creative. My wife was like, we need a hobby. I've got like 1,000 hobbies. Those of you guys that don't know, I just sold my saltwater aquarium before the quarantine hit really bad, but I like fish. Bad idea, because now I wish I would have kept it. Are you using an Apple Pencil? Yeah, I'm using the Apple Pencil that you can buy with the iPad Pro. Yeah, loving it. Pretty much anything that Apple does, and I'm gonna duplicate that again. Anything that Apple does, I'm like, you just take my money, you know. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna create another layer, and I'm gonna create a they call it a clipping mask, and everything that I do under that is going to be on the layer without technically messing with the first layer. So it'll be just over that same layer and nothing outside of that. So gotta send some design to my buddy Luis. I was just talking to him. He's starting his church on Easter. This boy is church planning, and he did not let this whole quarantine thing scare him. And so he's starting his church Easter Sunday, next Sunday, online. Whew. That's another level, bro. That is another level. I've got some textures on here that I like to use. I don't like to use like black, so maybe like grays to create shadows. We mess with the size of it and everything. So now we're gonna go in here. Yeah, it looks just too sharp there. And we go in and sort of change the size and bring the opacity just a little bit. See, so what that does is it makes sure that I don't mess with the other image or with even the letters. It's just creating sort of a clipping mask on top of the original design. So, and we'll start kind of fading all of this in, that way you guys see what I'm talking about. And we're not erasing, we're just creating a little context layer there right on top of that. Actually, you know what? I think that's a little bit too big, so I'm gonna shrink down the size just a little bit more. Sometimes you don't want too small, because too small is looking a little bit too sharp too. Just going in there. I don't know about you guys, but to me, like, this is like the most relaxing thing I could do. Sometimes you just gotta get away for a little bit, you know? There we go. Obviously this gets a shadow because it's behind that? See how that just pops, man? That pops. I still have a VCR and an RCA to USB cable to capture the downside. Takes forever. Yes, I think you have to watch the whole thing to convert it. You are a brave person, bro. You are a brave person. And don't think that you have to add in all your shading right away. I'll go back in with a larger brush and then shade more. See, because that already right there looks a little bit too sharp. I don't like sharp edges. That's when you mess with your brush size a little bit. Okay. The only thing is I'm gonna mess with my brush size just a little bit. Make it a little bit bigger, but I'm gonna go down on the opacity. So as you get bigger, we're gonna make it less sharp. I'm working with the left leg there. I know you guys can't see my pencil, but I should have set up another camera just to record. See, now I'm diffusing it just a little bit more to make it less harsh on those edges. See, bottom right, by his right foot. Yeah. See, so because I created a separate layer for it, I can go back to this. Let's say, for example, that I wanted to try with a different color. I can go in there and change the color of the text if I wanted to, and so on. But yeah, this thing is insane. See how you can almost see the layer there, this layer right here that I'm turning on and off. That's the layer with the shadows. And if I didn't like them, I could just turn them off and start all over again. If I saw something that I didn't like. So I'm gonna create the same thing, a clipping mask on top of the original picture. I'm gonna create a clipping mask. Actually, create it. Now to the clipping mask, and I'm gonna do the same thing because I think it's a little bit too. The design itself is a little bit too bright, like the picture itself is a little bit too bright. So I'm gonna try to reduce that a little bit. See if we can use a different texture. Maybe this one. A little bigger. Definitely not as strong. I don't like that at all. I don't like that looks too. Too much to it, but just enough. I'm gonna go back to this layer. too much, I think. Reduce that a little bit more. A lot better. Yeah, it's a little better. Let's go back in there and add some more shadows. Smaller stuff. Just a little bit more depth. See that left leg. I wonder if anybody else that has Procreate. I think my cousin Fernando has Procreate. We should do like a Procreate double screen live stream. That would be super cool. See how that arm's starting to look. Definitely what we wanted to do. Oh yeah, there we go. There we go. Too much on that U, I think. It's underhanded. I forgot about it. Because the shadow would continue to travel, so I'm gonna do something like that. Not too bad. Not too bad. Not too bad. And we can also go back in here. I'm gonna duplicate this just in case I don't like how it turns out. But select it. And mess with the curves. See that? Yeah. I think the screen is showing it a little bit darker than it really is, but it's actually more of a green. I can switch it, you know. I'll go back and forth with the colors a little bit. But I don't like it, so we're gonna reset it. Yeah, I mean, I think overall, I think right there is good. What do you guys think about that? It's okay, right? Not too bad. So essentially you could do this for like a sermon series, you know what I mean? Like if you're creating something about, you know, Holy Spirit or, you know, Easter Sunday, you bring in a really cool image and you've got a little bit more manipulation of what you can do with the text. You can also do that through Photoshop, obviously, but it's cool when you can actually get in there and just create the right shadows right where you want them, and you're not using a cursor and a mouse to create the images. You know? Yeah. And again, these are like all my layers. Yeah. So I didn't want to take any more than 30 minutes. Where did you find your image? If you want to find any images, go to unsplash.com. Unsplash.com. In fact, go to my YouTube channel. In my YouTube channel, there is a couple of videos. There's one video about the top 7 apps that you need to download on your on iOS devices. But Unsplash is actually a website. They do have an app for your iOS device, but it's also a website. And I'll take you guys there. This is Unsplash, and you can go in there and download as many images as you want, and like literally just search, jumping. And I've got could you imagine like the kind of sermon series that you could do with an image like this? Touch it up, the dive or something like that. You gotta be creative. This one, you can do so many things inside of Procreate. It's not even funny. Like you can do so much. But Unsplash is where you want to go. And then the text for this, I actually created it inside of Photoshop. It's a vector image that I grabbed and then I dropped it in there, and then I can edit and manipulate it. Now inside of Procreate, you can also create your own text and then rasterize the text so that you can, give it shadows and do all that stuff. But yeah, I just wanted to hang out with you guys for a little bit today. Monday. If you do not subscribe to my YouTube channel, I will come and find you. I'm just kidding. Go to my YouTube channel. Let me see if I can pop the link in here. Switch cameras. There it is. Go to my YouTube channel and subscribe. I'm at 150 right now. I'm trying to see if after this whole quarantine thing is over, if I can get to 300, that's solid. And I've got some friends out there, so I know who doesn't follow me yet. So this is my quarantine mustache. But yeah, for sure. So goodbye. 30 minutes and 52 seconds before my kids start going crazy. I see my kid poking his head in here already. God bless you guys. If you guys have any questions about Procreate, let me know. Maybe I'll do an actual tutorial on it, and I just won't take off, doing just random stuff on here. But if you have any questions, let me know. Please stay tuned to the lives that we're going to be doing. We're going to be uploading a vlog this week that's an interesting one. So stay tuned to that. Guys, God bless you. Take care, and we will see you very, very, very soon. Thank you, bro. Thank you, Luis. Thank you, Billy. See you guys. God bless.